All right, here now is Fred Tecce, former federal prosecutor. I've got to ask you, I mean, now
Thanks for having me.
We've seen the pattern of what looks like pay-for-play from the outside. You have the emails from WikiLeaks which show who was involved, you know, whether it's the King of Morocco, you have the Prince in Egypt, you have potentially cooperating witnesses like Huma Abedin, anyone else who's in trouble along the way. We have the own internal audit of the foundation, the 2014 Nonprofit Lawyer of the Year saying that she found when she interviewed people that they expected a quid pro quo for the donations. So my question to you is, what's missing? What is this case lacking?
The only thing it's lacking is the political will and, quite frankly, the lack of judgment by the Justice Department to bring an indictment. This is absolutely unbelievable to me, Melissa. The fact that I hear stories now that FBI agents had two surreptitiously recorded conversations with two people who indicated about information about pay-to-play, and they went to the prosecutors, and the prosecutors said that's hearsay. That's the biggest bunch of baloney I've ever heard in my entire life. If I was a federal prosecutor...
Let me stop you, because this is where we get hung up every time when we have this conversation, is that somebody says, well, that's hearsay. We have no smoking gun. You know, and that's kind of where this seems to stall out. And your presupposition is that it's the lack of political will. Is there anything else? I mean, is there no smoking gun? Is there something more that could be found?
I got to tell you right now, I guarantee you that there's 1,000 smoking guns. Okay, impanel a grand jury, issue grand jury subpoenas, grab these computers. You know, this is a political corruption case. You know, you don't need a smoking gun. What you need to do when you're a prosecutor is you need to build a wall, brick by brick, mortar by mortar, and each little piece of evidence is another brick in the wall. Quite frankly, these are cinder blocks, and it boggles my mind that some of this evidence that I hear that I think is compelling. A smoking gun is not an element of a crime. I hear compelling evidence of criminal wrongdoing. I see evidence by people to destroy computers, to destroy emails, evidence of consciousness of guilt. I find out that there's now 650,000 emails that these people didn't know were destroyed.
So
when I hear all...
Yeah, I mean, if you have the #2 guy, as we've seen in these emails at the FBI, tipping off John Podesta and saying, hey, listen, they're coming for this. This is what's happening right now. And you have Bill Clinton going on the plane of one of the lead law enforcement, the head of the Department of Justice, who's supposed to be pursuing this. Do we have any hope of this ever being sorted out? I mean, there are people out there who look at this and kind of lose hope, and it's kind of heartbreaking that our system seems to be corrupt from top to bottom. You don't want to believe that.
It is heartbreaking, and unfortunately, I can tell you right now that if Hillary Clinton gets elected, there is absolutely no hope of any of these crimes ever being investigated or prosecuted. She's never going to let that happen. No Justice Department, no Attorney General who gets appointed by Mrs. Clinton is then going to turn around and conduct an investigation. I mean, unless Congress tries to do it. But you see what happens when that happens. We get gridlock. We get political people yell and scream about politics. The Justice Department was supposed to be above politics. And unfortunately, it's not any longer. These people, they're political hatchet jobs. When I hear that the #2 person in the Justice Department alerted John Podesta, you know, you heard someone talk about treason earlier. I mean, on the federal criminal prosecution level, that is treason, okay? That is giving aid and comfort to the enemy, and it's inappropriate. Quite frankly, it's unlawful. It's obstruction of justice, in my opinion, and it needs to stop.
Fred Tecce, we appreciate your passion. Thanks for coming on.